Warning! This video is full of my opinions. I have no hate towards Canned Juice, or whatever the fuck his name is. No hate. I I just I have my opinions just like he does, and I genuinely I disagree with a lot of what he says, and I wanted my opinion to be out there. There, that's my warning. I got off track a little bit. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Are a core part of the Battle Cats. You roll them to get gacha units,
Time to
including
watch this.
rares, super rares, ubers, and legend rares. Of course, while most rares and super rares are the same in each banner, ubers are what tend to differentiate sets
Hello,
between
Kilo.
each other.
Sorry.
Each gacha banner comes with different ubers, and the selection of
say that,
ubers
sorry.
they provide are what define the set. For example, Iron
Can I
Legion
change the size of
is
these captions?
specifically
Why are they so
tailored towards
big?
providing
Whatever.
units which target and counter zombie enemies.
Why are you lagging? What the fuck?
Or maybe you'll roll a set like Galaxy Gals, which don't have a common trait target.
Why is my YouTube video lagging? I am going to I'm going to pause my stream actually. Maybe that'll help. Yeah. Least invasive caption size? Is this really the least invasive? You're telling me this is the least invasive? Covers like a tenth of the screen. Hopefully it doesn't lag anymore though.
But have lots of good generalist ubers. A common debate that you see is which set is the best one, and while this is typically between the Almighties and the Dynamites, I've decided to cover the opposite.
What? The Dynamites is not the best banner. Not even arguably. Just because it has two good usable Ubers does not make it the best. Ultra Souls is up there with Almighties. Not the Dynamites. That is a crazy take.
Which gacha banner is the absolute worst one?
Dynamites is arguable for worst, in my opinion.
If we do look at all gacha banners in the entire game, then the worst one belongs to collabs.
Galaxy Gals though? No.
Underpowered due
They're
to
not the best either.
Survive Mola
They're good,
Mola's
but not the
banner
best.
only features a single uber, Mola King, who is
I think
a
Almighty's
very
is by
risky
far the
high-rank
best.
backliner uber with okay-ish stats and a crazy
Bro, we're
dodge
not talking
ability.
about collab. Get
While
on
he
with
isn't
it.
the worst unit ever, he is far from the best. The strongest unit you'll ever roll from this banner is Mola King, but at least the weakest unit you'll get is also Mola King. Princess Punt's banner features some of the worst ubers in the entire game.
Get on with it.
Pretty much all of them.
We don't want to hear about
There's not a single reason
these
to roll
guys
this banner
because
outside of
obviously
collection.
collab and special
But let's exclude collab
special
here for
times
a more
and
interesting
stuff.
conversation.
Because like Christmas Gals is also terrible.
With collab out of the way, seasonal banners are next.
Okay.
Xmas Gals is an infamous one for having tons of ubers which were left
5 months ago. Wait, I want to read this description. No, this is not a guide. This is merely an opinion piece on the ranking of pixies, and you shouldn't follow it as a guide if you're a new player. Merely an opinion piece on... What does he mean by opinion piece? And on the ranking of pixies. Okay. Wait. What's a set that fails to do anything of... A set that fails to do anything of any capacity, by the way. Look at the... are you guys seeing this? Are you guys can you guys see this? Right? Saying the whole video is opinionated and don't take it as fact. He doesn't say don't take it as fact. He says that this is merely an opinion piece. He's not saying that this is his opinion and that he shouldn't take it as fact. He's saying that it's an opinion piece. But this is a statement. This is not an opinion statement. This is him saying a statement that he thinks is fact. All right? He's saying that this is fact. Also, yourself, huh? Who are we talking about? Ultra Solos aren't best either, to be honest. They're great early mid game, but fall off late game. That's fair, but like, still better than Galaxy Gals in my opinion. Just in generally speaking. Most Ubers have niches or important roles in the game. Exactly. Just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Fair, but Lucas's comment here felt reasonable. Sorry for putting Lucas in the thumbnail. Next video is very special event. So I agree for the most part. You think one thing I disagree on, or other things you think is there resist, especially for units like Bor and Misley. This resist can be pretty helpful. Cats of Cosmos in particular is where resist is very good. DH, what's not Dragon Emperors, but Dark Heroes. That's what it is. Ubers still work, but pixies are generally better in a way that you don't have to strategize too hard. This is also the case for stages with LD threats. You think another thing about the argument is that because non-Ubers work well enough isn't the best argument. Yeah, Lucas's take is honestly amazing. Yeah, like I mean, to be fair, the last three Ubers, yeah, if it was still if it was still before these last three ones were a
Without
thing,
talents,
then I would say that this is by far from true. Like, how can you give capsule banners can
and
actually
some
fail?
without even
Exactly.
true forms. Being knockoffs of main banner Ubers, they were an
Get to the
afterthought
good
for
stuff.
balancing, and as a result, one. I'm talking about the elemental pixies, the worst gacha banner in the battle
Yaminar's
cats.
true form is actually really good though, thanks to Wave Blocker. So that is an update to this video because I don't think he had a true form as of this
The elemental
time.
pixies
I
Guardians
could be
of
wrong though.
Nature banner was
The
added in
follow-up
version
vid
6.5
comes in, but still the vid is
alongside the new
okay.
Cats of the Cosmos expansion. All fit with anti-alien abilities, they were intended to counter the new expansion, as well as aliens.
Can
in
you
the
guys
game
hear
as
everything
a
fine,
whole.
by the way?
Looking at them from a distance, the pixies don't seem that bad. Generally speaking, they have less generalist damage output and range than most other Ubers.
Yeah, their range is kind of less, but their DPS is still good because, like, at the time that they were introduced, 5k DPS at 400 range, which is about their average, I think is actually really good for generalist usage, even with their faster cooldown. It's fine? Alright.
But with a somewhat faster cooldown, shorter than typical backliners but slower than dynamites. All pixies
They're not meant to be
have three
backliners, they're
common
meant to be
things that define the
mid-rangers.
set. The first
And they
is
combat
they all
that with
have
their ability
alien
to
target
tank.
and the
You don't want a
resist ability.
backliner that can
The second
tank.
is that they are all warp immune. And the third is that they all have barrier breaker at a 100% chance in their second and third forms. These sets of abilities make them especially well catered towards aliens, at least on paper. But instead of
At least on
generalizing,
paper, what do you
let's
want about?
inspect each individual Uber for all the value they provide. Oh yeah, and we're ignoring first form pixies because all of them are way worse than their later forms.
I don't know about way worse.
Bora is a pixie with all the usual abilities alongside massive damage. Base stats are pretty usual for a pixie, average health, lower DPS, and
6k
range,
DPS
but
at 390
faster
range, by the way.
It's
Not
clear
bad for
that
level
Bora's
30.
role is an alien nuker due to his massive damage ability, but how well actually is he against aliens? Well, due to a combination of decent stats, massive damage, and resist for intercepting aliens easier, he's actually quite a good alien nuker. Almost all alien threats get destroyed pretty easily
All
by
true
Bora,
form pixies are hella
even
good for
he's rather
improving.
good at
Yeah.
his niche.
Oh
But
yeah, I
this
guess
is where
true
the
form
good news
versus
ends,
versus
because
first form.
that's all
Yeah.
Bora does.
Hello,
Use him
Rich Cake.
against
Welcome to the stream.
non-aliens, and he won't provide much
We're
value.
reacting to this.
I know what you're thinking. It's weird
I
to
hope you know what
compare
this is,
Bora, an
'cause I don't wanna
anti-alien
explain it.
specialist, to other Ubers based on general stats, but what I'm trying to say here is that Bora doesn't provide any other use besides nuking aliens. When you compare him...
Has this guy never heard of a specialist? You've watched this guy before? Yeah, so your name is Rage Cake, right? So I mean, I'm gonna make rage bait here. Has this guy never heard of a specialist in his life? Like, buddy. Generalists are not the entire, you know,
to
span of
other
the
alien
Ubers.
nukers, we see that they all provide additional value. Aphrodite
What? Okay, first of all, Aphrodite is a sniper, and she's obviously busted for many
is
reasons.
both
But
an alien
what
nuker
other
like
anti-alien
Bora,
nuker do you
but
mention?
also an LD sniper unit. Catman hits many more traits than just alien.
You're comparing Catman and Bora? Let's look at Catman. Let's look at battle. You know what? I'm not even gonna do it on my second. I'm not even gonna do it on my monitor. I'm gonna do it on here. I want you guys to see this because Catman is super underwhelming. The whole argument kind of revolves around the set being too specific to one trait. That's so fucked. Because 440 range, less DPS. Less DPS. I think that's a longer attack animation, if I'm not wrong. You disagreed with most of his opinions? Understandable. Oh no, Bora has a longer startup to his attack animation. Never mind, but 150 second recharge time, 80-second recharge time. 80-second recharge time. And I'm not considering his true. Well, actually, his true form can be considered since it doesn't actually change his stats. Um, Massive damage to alien and relic. Also massive damage to alien, but also resistant to alien. That's the ultra form. These two, yeah. Well, also being immune to warp, meaning that he can actually guarantee that he gets hits off. Actually, Bora attacks more often than Dark Catman, meaning that he can fend off more quickly and better. While also being slower, meaning that he won't accidentally like creep into any blind spot. Well, what am I trying to talk about? Honestly, slower is kind of good here because like you don't want them rushing in too quickly. That's what I'm trying to say. And then you can say that he has more HP, but like let's be real, Bora has resist, so yeah. And it's mainly the recharge time difference. That's the main thing that I'm saying. Luminalia and she is carrying me through into the future.
And this
True.
goes for almost every other alien
All
nuker
of
in
these
the
guys will
game.
carry through into
They
the future,
almost always have additional
except for maybe
utility, or
some
just
the
hit
new
more
ones.
target traits, providing more value than Bora does. And even
Sure,
if
buddy.
they don't, they will most certainly have better generalist stats than Bora. Bora has a
Does this guy undervalue 6k DPS at level 30? Catman isn't bad, but you will say you do use him sometimes. Against aliens, though, probably not. You just love talking about this stuff to a point that, yeah, people think I'm obsessed with arguing. I'm obsessed
striking
with
talent
arguing,
that activates
so
on his
I'm
last
okay with it.
knockback, but even then it isn't changing much for him. And the worst part is that despite being made for nuking aliens, he isn't even the best at it. Strictly talking about alien nuking, Mad Dr. Clay is much better at doing exactly what Bora does.
Am I really going to have to look up fucking Warlock and Pierre stats now? Basically, he wants an Uber set based around shutting down star aliens to be good against other traits. Yeah. Use Luminalia against aliens. Mad Dr. Clay. You have Catman? I mean, Catman and Dr. Clay are both very good. Yeah, he is an only target. But this is arguing about alien nuking. We're talking about alien nuking now. Which one nukes alien? All of them? Okay, well, first of all, his true form is not something we should be talking about. Because obviously 20k DPS is a metric shit ton. Wait, this guy has double money? I never knew that. I never knew that. But again, double the recharge time. And 20k DPS is not considering he has less DPS than massive damage Bastra and double the recharge time. Is this dude serious? Double bounty when? I have no fucking clue, but even in true form, right? Even in true form, for any anger you get from this, I don't get angry. This I'm purely arguing and saying these things with passion. Double bounty in second, yeah. But okay, I'm going to get Bora back in here. Oh yeah, we're so serious. Yeah, very serious. Very, very, very serious. Look at this. 5k DPS, massive damage, makes that 20k DPS. Ba- Bora's true form has the same DPS against aliens as Warlock true form. And half the recharge time. must I must I say more?
While someone like Makako does nuke damage similar to Bora, but with the additional utility of a guaranteed long slow and better stats overall.
If we're talking about talents, then consider Bazibastra's 50% strength then.
Aphrodite and Saki have a better matchup spread against alien backliners, which tend to be the more.
Isn't it 4 times? Isn't it massive damage 4 times? If I'm wrong, then that proves my point even more, but I'm pretty sure it's just 4 times, right? True form Makako? Bro, wait, I wasn't even paying attention. Is he mentioning Makako? Massive damage with 4 times treasures, that's what I thought.
Slow and better stats overall. Exactly what Bora does.
That's exactly what Bora does. Wrong, because, well, right, but with double the recharge time.
Like Makako does nuke damage similar to Bora, but with the additional utility of a guaranteed long slow.
Oh my god. Battle Cats. Mirror. I don't even. Makako. Gotta go. Bye. Alright, see ya, Ridge. He never did, I think. What? Bora has like infinite HP as well. I mean, I don't know about infinite, but he does have more thanks to his resist. Pretty much double the recharge time, no resist. Still good general HP, range and stuff, but like, here's the thing. Makako's mainly good. Well, first of all, the true form is fucking expensive. Free video idea coming? This is already a video idea. I'm making this its own video. Okay, what the fuck are these ultra talents? No. How are you doing? What? How are you doing Asian? What the fuck? What are we talking about? But yeah, like, I will say Mikako and Bora, I'd say, are similar whenever it comes to, like, anti-alien usage. However, I think Bora's recharge time makes him better at nuking because he can do it more. Ripping into terrible video. I'll probably just I probably won't say that I'm hating on it. I'll probably just give it like actual criticism, like, or maybe just like down talking it with facts and stuff. Well, how are you doing? How is it that hard to understand? Doing Asian? That's a yeah, but we are all doing good. You somehow clicked insane damage 3 to 4 times is correct, right? Insane damage is 6 to 7, isn't it? I don't think 5 times is ever a thing. But let's continue. 60% of the cost as well. That's another thing to consider, cost. Because a lot of some alien stages actually don't give you money.
Aphrodite and Saki have a better matchup spread against alien backliners.
You just named 2 things that just have more range, but worse DPS against aliens. Well, Aphrodite might have similar DPS against aliens, but she has more range and a blind spot. Don't forget that. Same with Saki. She also has a blind spot. And a lot of the scary aliens rush a lot.
Tend to be the more
Mirror says 5 to 6. Okay, okay.
At the end of the
Insane
day,
resist is 6 to 7. Okay.
What he set out to do with success.
Doesn't do anything else replaceable by many other Ubers. Yeah, but he's better than pretty much any other alien Uber because of his recharge time, cost, and sheer damage.
A low B. Most Ubers in the game. K addition to the player's arsenal.
Sorry, I probably broke my keyboard from
low
that.
B.
Low B works, but mediocre. I'd say he's A.
Most Ubers in the game are going to be more valuable than
you. What are you on about?
And
There's going to be a billion comments about the follow-up stream.
The vast majority of pixies are either on par or
I can watch the follow-up stream too.
Units. Misley is next.
Low D at best. Okay, buddy.
And slow. Famous for her so-called
traditional stages, most general anti-aliens do the job just fine, but Bora is kind of like a solo guy. Yeah, I can solo her.
Well known in the community. I made an
He's gonna, but Grabby is SS.
Before,
right.
But looking at the unit
if
herself,
you're open to that, yeah. So you want me to watch the follow-up stream?
It's combination of knockback.
I can scroll through it to see what he talks about.
Times, which makes it hard to bring her niche out. But the so-called Misley syndrome isn't the worst part about her. It's simply the fact that no one needs Misley. When it comes to alien crowd control, Seafarer alone is almost enough for every alien stage in the game.
But Seafarer actually doesn't have all that much range, so it's better to outrange some things like Iron Face and stuff. And Misley also has knockback, which is really good for pushing back.
Slow them, but rather just kill them outright. Misley doesn't contribute towards making any of these alien stages easier, but instead provides no value at all. While she can
She has like 5k DPS in her true form. You definitely help deal with the billion comments about it though. Okay. If you knock back the front, then you die to the backline. Well, not every alien stage has a backline.
combo well with other Ubers like Aphrodite.
This is actually so good
it's
though.
not like
That
Aphrodite
like 5k
needs a
DPS on
Misley
somebody
Uber to
that's meant to be a
function
proc unit is actually really
what we
good.
have here is a unit that not only has poor generalist stats like most pixies, but also lacks a niche with any kind of value.
Niche and hard to
outside of
utilize. Knocking
extremely
back and
impractical
slowing is not
situations.
niche.
Misley is practically useless.
No,
And for that reason,
I disagree.
I'll give her a D tier. Misley is
That's
awesome
fucked.
though, and the coolest pixie, so she gets a very special D
You only
tier.
need her in a stage that's suited this title
Next
for
up
enemies
is Air,
without
whose
any enemy
specialty
backliners.
is being an LD attacker. Unfortunately,
Obviously,
lack
you
of
don't want to
any
use her
real
with
anti-alien
backliners,
ability
but like
makes him pretty much
she can still
useless.
tank the backliners
He's
as
pretty
long as
good
they're
at destroying
aliens, so she's
barriers
still
with his
helpful.
reach, but this role of an LD unit isn't particularly important in the slightest. While his LD attacker stats aren't the worst, we already have tons of great LD in the modern meta with units like Courier, Fiend, Housewife, Ural, and more.
The thing he's forgetting is that Air's LD reaches up to 650, which is further than any of those other units he just mentioned. He just had a very special D tier.
He gets the weakened ability with talents, and while it does sound decent on paper,
He's not even mentioning
it's still
dodge.
not too impactful or worth the cost. Another major problem with Air is that he's not very good at clearing cats of the cosmos, which should be
sure
the
about
major
that?
use for a pixie. He'll struggle to contribute much besides breaking barriers
He
on
has-
most of the stages there.
He has decent
and is
LD,
just not
weaken,
very
dodge,
useful at all.
and
There's
knockback,
really
I
not
think.
much else to say about
Is
Air.
knockback
He's one
only
of the
Ultra
worst
Form?
non-collab
I could
or
be wrong.
seasonal Ubers in the game, or well, that was until his Ultra Form.
Wait, does this include Ultra Form? Did he just compare Courier LD with Wind LD? Yes, he did. Air has Barrier Break, which is their main attraction. I think Air's main attraction is LD, because LD is really good against aliens since, like you said, there are a lot of alien backliners, so Air can hit them. KB only Ultra Form? Okay. But, I mean, if this is considering Ultra Form, then
aliens every hit, and with his fast attack rate in LD, juggles all aliens on the field incredibly well.
LD Barrier Break just kills Ribbo instantly? True.
DPS answer to aliens in the game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, spending 15 Dark Eyes just to get a good alien answer is probably not worth it for most people. Especially since there are more useful Ultra Forms a player can get.
But like Air's
Fioralis,
weaken isn't
for
that terrible
example,
either,
completely
so
destroys aliens on top of also targeting angels and having extremely good stats across the board.
he almost also knocks them back though, and he's
Air
slower.
isn't the greatest.
He's
Uber,
probably not
and
that
you
great
can safely
for
consider
Star
him
Aliens.
a dead pull if you happen to roll him. D tier. Volta does a guaranteed freeze with every hit, and stands at a nice.
If we're being
400
honest, there
range,
probably isn't any
which
bad
makes it
pixie. They just
easier
do
for
their
him to
job well.
outrange and freeze
Well, I
enemies
beg
than
to
some
differ from
Seafarer can.
the one I got,
Ursa Major is a
Tetsukachi.
good
Just because he
example
doesn't
of
have a
an
true
enemy
form
where
though.
Volta's range allows him to work better
Arventex
than
makes me
Seafarer
wonder if
would.
they will make Cat Cloud Championship
While this is
13 with
good on
Alien
paper,
Backliner.
It really isn't all
Prob-
that
I don't
needed,
think there will
since
be a
Seafarer
13.
covers the
I think
majority
we're
of
at the
aliens
peak of
similarly
difficulty
well,
in the game.
sometimes even performing better due
Unless
to having
ZL
a
somehow
chance at
makes it
permafreeze
harder.
without needing to wait the time Volta would for a second Volta. Volta is better against Mesocosmos Cyclones due to the resist.
Is Zero Legend?
but
No,
outside
Zero
of
Legend
that,
isn't
he's
even
pretty
12 star,
replaceable
so
in role and doesn't contribute
Tetsu
more
is
than
shit
he would
because
already
Gravelodon is just a better
accomplish with
tanker.
Seafarer.
Tetsu's
While
shit
it
because
is
he
more
doesn't have a true
consistent to
form.
run both than just one, that consistency
Also, we're talking about Volta. I'm very personal about Volta because if they're comparing Volta with Castaway or Seafarer, then that's fucked because Volta has better range and better freeze, more consistent as well.
is better.
Hello, I'm
against
a regular now. Welcome back, Cat God. Thanks for being a regular. Haven't met Sakiko, the Sage Dolphin. I haven't met that too. Kenshin validates. Tetsukachi has to be bad because it has dodge. That's fair. The dodge needs to be a higher percentage though. It needs to be higher than 10%. Zeal is too easy. We literally need them to double the Sage enemy stats for the Sage to even be considered harder. That's fair.
But outside of that, he's pretty replaceable in role and doesn't contribute more than you would already accomplish with Seafarer. While it is more consistent,
He tanks
to run
and has
both
more
than just
range.
one,
He has more
that
consistent
consistency
freeze.
isn't really needed since either Volta or Seafarers alone is good enough for most stages. There are a
You can
few
use them
more
both,
niche
though.
applications, such as cheesing speechless tongues or freezing barren hippo, but
We're
those
gonna have
stages
Pelican
are
in
both
April
late game,
update, maybe with
meaning they
Baki.
fall victim to
Pelican.
Soapcat, which eliminates the need for Volta in the first place. Overall,
You're comparing
not the
a
worst.
spammable tank to a not so spammable Uber. What do you want about? And
Which
Soapcat
eliminates
doesn't even
the need
freeze,
for
he just
Volta in the
tanks.
first place.
What do you want about?
Overall, not the worst
You're
unit,
overestimating
and a
Soap.
pretty effective crowd control
Volta,
towards
all talents, and
aliens,
45 plus 6,
but
aka mine,
replaceable
does
overall.
a lot of general damage. Well, yeah, it's somewhat of a rusher. They're literally just giving us the most busted powercraft units for easy levels. Yeah,
And does not
unfortunately.
provide any other usage. I'll give Volta a B- because of these reasons. Gravity is a tanky unit with guaranteed chance to do a level 4 wave.
Seafarer does not replace Voltaire. The
health
range
at just
difference
level
changes
30,
about everything.
When
Yeah,
you add his resistant
absolutely.
warp immune, he's a very nice tank for aliens. His damage output
And
is
now
also
relics with
very
talents,
good.
but I don't know if
Due
those
to
are
the
out at this
guaranteed
time.
Wave, he has an
Whose
effective
channel are you watching?
10,000 generalist DPS at just
Can
level
Juice.
30. Gravy is arguably different from
He
all
does have
other
talents.
pixies
Okay,
in a
so
sense
relic
because
as well,
he is
yeah.
the only one with actually good generalist stats. With a decently fast cooldown,
I don't know
and
about
low
only one.
cost,
Bazzy Bastra
it
has
is
pretty
a
good
viable
general.
move to bring Gravy on general tanking stages or mid-ranger stages, and have him put in quite a bit of damage on the enemies. 30,000 damage a wave is more than enough to easily clear out annoying peons like Brawlos and Pigeons, and the high reach allows him to chip the backline.
Why
quite
is the
effectively.
stage so low? What
His
the
talents
fuck?
give him Curse
Move
and
it up.
Knockback Immune, as well as Target Relic, further expanding his niche. Knockback Immune in particular.
Yeah, I'm so down to react. Why is it lagging? Can my stream not handle me watching fucking YouTube? Here, I'll close Battle Cats. Here, I'll close. Maybe that'll be better. They spelled Gravy incorrectly? Did they? Why is it lagging?
Gravy
Thought your
on
stream was
general
lagging, not
tanking
yours?
stages
No, it's
or
me
mid-ranger
lagging.
stages, and have him
They
put
need to
in
put the
quite a
stats
bit
in the
of damage on
videos?
the
They did.
enemy stage because he is the only
Here, Gravity stats. No, it's an I. It's spelled with an I. Trust me. It is. It's not spelled gravy. It's not what you put on fucking biscuits.
one with actually good generalist stats. With a decently fast cooldown and low cost, it is a viable move to bring
Can't
Gravy
you
on
expected
general
more out of me?
tanking
I was told
stages
to react to
or
this,
mid-ranger
alright?
stages, and have him put in quite a bit of damage on the enemies. 30,000 damage a wave is more
Gravy
than
was a
enough
joke.
to easily clear out annoying peons like Brawlos and Pigeons,
Biscuits and gravy,
and the high
exactly.
reach allows him to chip the backline quite effectively. His talents give him Curse and Knockback Immune, as well as Target Relic, further expanding his niche.
Whatever.
Knockback Immune in particular is
Festus
very
and
nice
Jesse?
on
I don't know who
tank
that
as
is.
well. For most stages in the game, you can use him as
I'm
a
so
general
annoyed that
tank
the
or
stage is so
mid-ranger
low.
role and get pretty good results. He's overall a very solid unit that does well both generally and in his own niche. Gravy earns a low A tier for his work.
I'd say S or
Nice job,
SS.
Gravy. You're the
Talk
best
about his relic
pixie.
talents more.
Unfortunately, that means that everyone else in this set is worse than an Uber who is just pretty good and not broken tier.
Just pretty good? What are we talking about? Just pretty good? Does this guy underestimate the power of waves? You guys know iWaltz, right? From a collab. Y'all know iWaltz? Literally all he got in a true form is a level 2 wave, and he became a busted Uber. No way he said a con he is bad compared to other units. That's such a bad con, too. I didn't even notice that. Why is this Gravy example on a stage with Gobble? True. That's a good point. You'd say S for Gravy. iWaltz with the Savage Blow Wave? Yeah, but all he got in his true form was Wave, and he went from being an okay unit to a busted unit.
Yami
He is trying
a
to make them
unit
look
whose
bad.
value is highly debated due to his strange build. He's meant to be a ranged tank.
He does
for
have true
alien
form in
Haku
this,
that
so
does weaken for support, but also has the
why
wave
is he
blocker
using
ability.
him on a rushing
Standing at
stage though? This is
340
a bad
range,
stage for
And
this.
with a pretty fast cooldown for an Uber, Yemi is widely considered to be the best ranged wave blocker in the game. While I do agree with this
Yeah,
sentiment,
he does give stats,
the
just
value
only
of
at the
a ranged
beginning.
wave blocker
Not
isn't
whenever
as big
he's
as
talking
some
about them
people
though.
make it out to be. Sure, it does completely neuter and
No way! It does say it in the video bar. What the fuck?
destroy most wave stages in the game, but Octopus Cat
For
is
general
usually enough for
DPS to
these
help. Yeah,
stages,
this guy's damage is
especially
not
when
good.
paired
But
alongside
he is
Dancer,
no longer the best
Mushroom, and
ranged
other
wave blocker,
anti-wave
huh?
answers. Luckily,
Wave blockers are
Yemi still
overrated?
has
Really?
bright
That's
moments
funny.
as a wave blocker.
That's why I say
On
gravy.
stages like Blessing Level Max, Yemi can wave block the Mr. Mers and Boar Juniors while standing at a safe range.
He can wave
and
block a
not
lot
being
of
warped
things.
away by XCL due to his warp immune. As for
Luna?
tanking roles, he's
Is
pretty
Luna wave?
decent at
No,
not dying, but his support weakens aren't the most impactful
Is she
on
wave
Alien
block?
or Aku stages. He might still be
He's,
useful
that's
on
when he's
rare
talking about it.
occasion,
Yeah, I agree with
but don't
that.
expect him
But,
to give you free wins everywhere. It's also of note that Yami has a
but he ain't good
two-slot
against
resist
surges.
M
He's
combo
not.
with Tourist,
That's why I don't like
which
his
is
usage
actually
against
pretty
Aku's.
impactful for just two
His only
slots.
usage, in my
If you're
opinion, is
running a
wave blocker.
resist or
Luna has
tanker
wave blocker? I didn't know that.
strategy, try bringing
But
this
Gravo
combo.
good and not
It's
kind of
actually
OP.
more impactful
I
than
know,
you
right?
think.
It's
While
crazy.
his wave blocker
Criminal.
role is pretty good, it's not groundbreaking, and his tanking niche isn't that groundbreaking either. He's a nice combo, but that's more of a bonus. About a B tier Uber. Pretty average, but he's not really that powerful.
I feel like he
compared
doesn't
to
play the
around
game.
half the
He probably
Ubers in the
doesn't.
game. Blazana is a
He probably
mid-range Uber
doesn't
with
at least
multi-hit,
use all of these
guaranteed
units.
slow, and targets
Yanmi
both
has a
aliens
2-slot
and
resist
zombies.
combo. I forgot about
This
that.
unit used to be
It's just a
one of the
tanky
worst
wave blocker.
Ubers in
Not
the game,
well, 100k
until
HP for a
True
general
where she is
tanker
now.
with wave blocker honestly isn't
Still one
bad.
of the worst Ubers in the game.
One of the
Terrible
worst
general
Ubers in the
stats,
entire
awkward
game? I don't
multi-hit,
know.
and
Being
her
able
slow
to
only
consistently
applies on the
slow
very
zombies
nice
and
hit.
aliens is actually
Her
kind of
role of
nice.
controlling aliens and zombies at mid-range is easily
Yami
outclassed
above
by
Bora,
Seafarer
what?
and
I
Housewife.
know, this is
And even
bullshit.
her toxic immunity isn't all that useful. Sure, she loses against Big
True,
Peg
Kilo.
Z, but slowing him down isn't going to make the difference between you losing and winning. She is a surprisingly good meat shield against Zalos,
I think
though,
he's getting the units
so
into a generally
that's
alright
something.
position in the tier list, but maybe the
Blazana is a
reasoning
unit
sounds
that
wrong.
pretty much provides
I think
nothing
Bazzy
useful to most
Bastra being
players.
so low is
Without good
fucked.
general stats or an actually useful niche.
To be fair, I don't
this
think
unit
this
might
came
be the
out
most useless
with
pixie there is.
Baz. I don't think
well,
Bora Ultra
There's
Form was
somewhat
out at the time of
competition
this
for
video.
title, which makes this set just look all the much worse.
His takes are about as good as X-Skulls.
Tetsukachi is the
I actually
newest
tend to
pixie,
like
and has no
X-Skulls
true form.
takes
He
relatively.
targets alien, angel, and floating.
Yeah,
Acting
keep him
as
on
a
the time to
tanker
vid.
role and has 10% dodge.
This guy
This
hasn't
dodge
changed
is a
at
minor
all though,
bonus to
so.
his tanking capabilities, which are pretty good. The problem with Tetsukachi
How long ago was
is
the vid?
his
5 months.
fundamentals. In order for a tank to actually provide value, they have to do one of three things. They either dish
Lasagna's
out
bad,
enough
check the
damage
usage
to
for her in
hard-to-reach
zombies.
enemies,
She actually is really good
apply
against
status
zombies,
effects
in my
to those
opinion.
enemies to make
Bazzy
them
Ultra
easier to
Form
counter,
hasn't come
or
out yet.
act as
Yeah.
a meat shield when traditional meat shields are not effective. Tetsukachi has terrible damage output, no status effects, and is competing with the likes of Ramen for Angels, Octo for Floatings, and the wide variety of anti-alien meat shields for that trait.
I feel like
He's simply not
Tetsukachi should be
useful
used in
because
his
we
first
already
form
have
because
fantastic
the
options for
10%
the role that he
dodge.
does,
I think
making him again
the 10%
practically
dodge doesn't
useless
change
for most
from
players of the game,
evolved form to first
until he
form,
does
so
get a true form.
I think
Tetsukachi
he
sits
would
at
actually
the
be better
bottom
first
next to
form.
a few other pixies,
She was at
all
least
of
out
them
on the
having
Japanese
hardly
version.
any value at
Well, he
all.
didn't mention
That's all the
Bora, so
Ubers for
he
now,
mentioned the other
but
Ultra
this
forms
set
though,
does
so
have
I
a
think
legend rare, which is
he would have
Lumina.
mentioned Bora
Just a
if
reminder,
he knew
but
about
you
it.
should never roll a set for the legendary.
He complains about
if
how
that
they're
wasn't
only good against
obvious
aliens
enough.
and then proceeds to
You
not
should
talk about the
only be
abilities they
directly
have against
rolling a set
non-aliens.
if it has guaranteed
Yeah,
for
that's
consistent
fair.
Ubers. And for
Takachi Ultra
pixies,
Form
I would
becoming
avoid
the
rolling
smaller
this set
form would be insane.
entirely, which means Lumina as a unit
Maybe.
you probably shouldn't be going for, unless another banner with actually good units.
I just meant,
happens
like,
to
I was
have
just
a
saying,
legend rare drop
as of right
chance for
now,
pixies.
first form would be better than evolved
Anyways,
form.
Lumina is a ranged tanker.
There's
with
no resist for
decent generalist
Tetsu in
stats.
first form. Yeah,
Does
but
she
the
tank
dodge is
aliens
still
well?
there.
Yes. Is this useful? Kind of. Similarly to Gravi, due to having damage and also a support weaken, she's a very nice unit to intercept aliens. Her fast speed also makes her nice for cheesing stages like Speechless
She also has
Tongues.
7k DPS
However,
at level 30.
She does have direct competition with Soapcat, who tanks aliens
Soapcat
and
doesn't have
weakens them as
DPS.
well. While Lumina is stronger
And
at
also
the
doesn't
role,
have
it's
range.
not like there's an alien tanking stage where Soap isn't enough to win, so that diminishes the role she has by
What do you
quite
mean
a
by
bit.
alien tanking stage? What the
Generalist
fuck?
stats wise, she's decently powerful.
Keeps coming back to
but nothing
cheesing speechless
impressive.
tongues.
High health, decent DPS, and
What do you mean decent?
375
7k
range make her
DPS is
an
not just
alright
decent
addition
at
to
level
stages
30.
where she can outrange most enemies. I wouldn't say she's as useful generally as Gravi due to the lack of the wave roll.
Fair point,
But
pro.
she still is usable and shines on mid-ranger stages, especially if the stage requires bulky attackers to shrug off weak hits. Lumina is a solid unit, and although not groundbreaking, is a decent addition to most players' arsenals. B+, but let's be honest, you shouldn't
Kind
be
of
having
useful
this
when
unit
explaining
anyways.
Luminalia. That's crazy.
So looking at our pixies, we notice
Bro.
something unusual. Where's
True.
the broken wild
Stop
card
using
unit
them
that
on
appears in
traitless.
most sets? Dynamite's has Balrog, Almighty's has Kronos, War God has Yukimura, but the best where's the broken wild card unit?
The broken wild card is Gravolo. What the fuck? Okay, let's hear these broken outliers.
That
All right.
appears in most sets. Dynamite's has Balrog,
Balrog.
Almighty's has Kronos.
Chronos above Materatsu and Ganesha is crazy. Just delete his YouTube channel. No, I have no hate towards this guy. I need to emphasize this. No hate towards this guy. He just needs to not act like his opinions are fact. That's my only problem with him. Why mention Kronos when you have a Materatsu and Aphrodite? I don't even care about Aphrodite at this point. Hades for health? Fuck him. Ganesha. Ganesha's general true form is honestly, or general true form, general stats with LD is actually amazing. She is probably the second best niche unit? No, because now that we have Mitama, Dark Phono, amongst others, I definitely think that's wrong. This is why you only watch Silverman the Cat Reborn? Yeah. If he said, in my opinion, every 20 seconds it would make the video 10 times better. Yeah, because, I mean... Well, I just think that maybe he shouldn't, be so bad at having an opinion. No, but like genuinely though, the word he does say in my opinion up here, but he doesn't say it like outside of the video, he doesn't put it anywhere.
War God has Yukimura, but the best Uber in Pixies is
Okay, he named 3 banners. What about all the other banners in existence that don't have the outlier? Nikalugas. I'm blanking already. I named 1 banner. Name banners that don't have an outlier. That's really good. Because I bet you can. Girlsmons honestly doesn't have any outliers. Monster Gals is fucking trash banner. No, not trash, but generally good, no busted though. Dark Phono and Matama is fair, but they're both in sets where all Ubers are there. Kronos is the only insanely busted niche unit that is a banner that has 100% trans draws and only like 11 Ubers. Okay, so outside of Fest exclusives, sure, Kronos is probably the best, if not the second best, if not the best support. But including Fest, then probably number 3 or 4. Kana is the only good one? What are you on about? Okay, your takes are trash. Monster Gal says Reika and Ruri? You're underestimating all the rest of them. All of them are actually decent except for maybe Vega and Tomo. All of them are actually pretty good, aside from that. Only Kana? You're nuts. Including Fest, yeah, but still niche is amazing. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Cronus is bad. I'm saying there is better for his argument. Kana is the best. I mean, thanks to the meta, sure, but I mean, I think Rick is better with her really good standing range and LD, or not LD, but damage, DPS and range. Yeah, we have Spectral Goth as well, though she ain't that good.
Ravi,
Calm down.
who is good, but definitely
Maybe with
not
true
gonna
form,
carry
but
you throughout the entire game. Looking at how many of the units here are in lower
Gravity
tiers,
can carry you through the
it's
entire game. I
basically a
can
coin
guarantee
flip
you,
on whether you get complete
especially
garbage
through UL.
or just a half decent unit from this set. Now
Especially in
that we've
3-star
finished
UL where you
taking
have
an
buffs,
overview of
zombies,
the
and
units
relics in the same
themselves,
stage, Reika is
let's
amazing.
get into
Yeah.
the 3 main reasons why Pixies are the worst.
So did he
normal
talk
set
about
in
it
the
again or
game.
what?
The first and most obvious one is just what we discovered. Pixies do not have good overall quality when it comes to the units they provide.
Yeah, but typically
where
if
other
you're
sets
rolling
are both
elemental
more
pixies, it's because you
consistent
need
and have higher
anti-aliens.
peaks. Sets
So
like
for
Dynamites
for
and
what they
Almighties
are, they're
filled with
really good.
strong, amazing,
People when an
and
Uber has
even
Behemoth Slayer,
game-breaking
oh
Ubers.
look, oh
You have a
Behemoth
much
Slayer
higher
on Kana,
chance of getting
monkey brain
something useful
activated.
if you roll these sets instead
Yeah,
of
this.
Pixies.
I mean, I
Meaning
don't think
that
there
we're
is a
looking
worse
for the
set. There's
consistent
niche
aspect of
sets,
the
but not
set,
worst.
or their alien niche
And I am talking
to be
over
a
him.
viable
I don't
reason
care.
to roll them at all. But now we
That's
reach our
fucked.
second reason.
Rick
Which
is good
that
for
their
zombies
niche
and blue
isn't that
boys. True.
valuable in the first place
Getting happily
because
carried
most
through relics with
aliens
Wreck-It,
aren't
yeah.
that hard to counter. What do I mean
Nikos
by
definitely
this?
suck, yeah.
Well, most of the notoriously difficult
They literally all have resist, and then the rest of them have different. Wait. What does he want? What does he want from them? All of them have resist, and then all of them have different abilities towards aliens. And he's saying that none of them have useful anti-alien abilities.
Stages or roadblocks a player will have to go against aren't alien stages. For the ones that are, the player's non-uber anti-aliens like
He's talking
Seafarer,
about
and for
the fact
later parts of
that
the game,
roadblocks
Soap
are
and
typically
Royal
not
Guard
alien
are more than
stages.
enough to beat all the hard alien
Soap and
stages
Royal
in
Guard
the
are both later game stages, buddy. You're not going to have them before you're done with Cats at the Cosmos.
game without much trouble. There are a few stages which are still
Got
very
Tikaluga and
challenging,
Shishilan are pretty
like
good. They
Black
are pretty good.
Slippers, but
Tikaluga's
pretty much
the
any
outlier in
alien
there, I
nuker
guess.
or
But
Ursa Major counter in the game is enough to take out all
Speechless
the
Tongues.
difficulty in that
Yeah,
stage.
sounds right.
When it comes to more mid-game oriented
All the
stages,
Ubers resist, not
they are
useful.
typically
Of all the
easy
videos, we have
backpointer
Speechless Tongues
stages
again, I know,
or
right?
restriction stages in Cats of the Cosmos. For specifically Cats of the Cosmos, again, almost any anti-alien Uber is enough to negate all the difficulty, making
Wrong.
the Pixies' niches not very special.
Not every anti-alien has what has
also
barrier
isn't that
breaker.
difficult to do normally unless you
He does
rush
not
it,
value tanking.
apart
I
from
can
a few
guarantee you
select
that.
stages. And for those select stages like Skelling and Andromeda
Luffy is
3,
nice and Lucas don't.
they are still
Okay, so
doable
yeah, they
without
do have
uber
an
skill.
outlier, but I would say Gravy is amongst the same level as Luffy. So, like, I mean, this guy's logic is fucked. But he also never mentioned Luffy from the Lugas, so.
Easily if you just search a guide. Some of the Pixies
Well, yeah,
also
every
don't
stage
even
is.
help you with Cats of the Cosmos that much, like Air, Blazana, or Tetsukachi.
Let me see
And
White
really,
Rabbit try and beat COTC too early. Facts.
outside of
Lufaland, my
Cat God,
beloved.
which drops some Cats of the
Gravy
Cosmos
equals
2,
Luffy.
the
For
main
different
reason why
reasons,
you
yeah.
want to clear Cats of the Cosmos 3 fast is to be able to play late game start alien stages, which give you drops that are only useful if you're at a
He
point
does
of
hit
the
like a
game
dump
where
truck.
your
He's the
other
boss
units
killer.
are decently leveled
Definitely.
as well, making a Pixie Cats of the Cosmos 3 rush kind of an irrelevant move. And finally, the third reason why Pixies are the worst set by far is that they are completely outclassed by a different set, being Dark Heroes. Dark Heroes is a set focused on
What? No.
countering aliens, and were made to help the player clear into the future. They are actually pretty strong units, and one of the most consistently good sets overall. Almost
Only a 50% strengthened, by the way. Without ultra talents, below 5k DPS, so worse DPS than Bora. A lot longer recharge time. Slightly longer range. Less HP than Bora. Only strong against, while Bora has massive damage and resist. Immune to waves and weaken. Who the fuck is using an immune to waves on aliens? In weaken, I mean, sure, Calamaria or Calamari, whatever. Catman is good though? Yeah, but I already talked about Catman earlier. If you weren't here, then I'm sorry for your loss. And then, I mean, with Ultra Talent, sure, but I mean, yeah, I I don't think he's talking about Ultra Talents. Makako already talked about her. Catman already talked about her. White Rabbit, do I even need to? Warlock and Pure already talked about him. Hayabusa, who the fuck uses him for Alien? Vigler is mainly good for his zombies and Relic in his true form. Saki, she's like, sure she has range, but like, come on now, she has a huge fucking blind spot. White Knight, Cyclops, garbage for Alien. Thunderjack, he's just generally good, not necessarily an anti-alien, and his knockback is useless. Mech Patrol Axe, I mean, is he even good? uh, I don't care about you. Dr. Heaven, I mean, I have Professor Abyss, and I gotta say, I think I like Bora more. Because he has both insane, or he has both resist and massive damage.
Almost everything here will help you get past Into the Future and Cats of the Cosmos, while also providing
Axel's
even
good, you
more
got him?
niche
Oh,
and
cool.
generalist value.
Thunderjack for
Most
rushing?
units
Yeah,
here
but
have
not
great base
really
stats,
good for
making them
aliens, in
better
my
generally
opinion.
than Pixies. Dark
Jack is
Heroes
good against
also have
everything
a
made to
gimmick
be
where
anti-alien,
changing
born to be
forms
generalist.
allows units
Yeah.
to change
You don't think
abilities,
you care that
such
much,
as
but
targeting
thanks for the
different
hint.
traits or having
Yeah,
different
I did
roles.
already talk about
Catman can not only nuke aliens,
some of the.
but
I
also
did already talk about
Furlings,
Catman,
Angels, and Relics when you
and what
account
I
all
came
his
down,
different forms.
the thing I came down to is
Warlocks.
that Bora has better health against aliens thanks to his resist, and much better recharge time. That's the main
Saki and
difference.
Hayabusa also
Jack
have
just
useful
obliterates
trait target changes
Koyano.
that make
Cool.
them versatile. The set also has a good amount of standout units. Bigler has the best research combo in the game, a 2-slot
No.
research M
Vigler does not have the best research combo in the game. Lazvos does.
with pretty decent units inside of it, allowing you to save slots or stack even more research than you were able to before. Saki and Clay are powerful multi-trait attackers that can
Clay
be
has
used
the same
in
amount of
many different
DPS as
stages
Bora,
to answer a large variety of
but
threats.
double the research
And
time.
the best one of them all, Thunderjack is a unit with broken stats that can bully 3 different traits into being stun locked, on top of just
Yeah,
doing
but the
well
difference
in
is
any
that Thunderjack
situation due to his incredible
is
DPS
RNG
and
based
good
with his
HP as a
knockbacks,
rusher.
and
He's one of the
he
best
actually,
in the entire game when you exclude Fest.
and he's a
And his potential
generalist.
to
He's
only
not really
get
that great
even
against
stronger
aliens on
because
their
he
own.
doesn't even have a true
Mainly
form
just a
yet.
generalist.
So yeah, not only are pixies incredibly weak and not useful in their niche, but their entire existence is meaningless when a set that does everything the pixies wanted to, on top of doing
Can't wait to
even
use this
more,
information on my
already
new
exists.
playthrough of the game.
Now we should be done here, but I'll make a brief section on a certain other set that most
These
people
aren't
would say
dynamites.
is worse than pixies. That of course is the Necolugas, which have tons of wacky and extremely fragile units that don't always contribute much. And
Lazvos
honestly,
needs 3 for only slightly more research and garbage units in it other than Lazvos. Bigler's slightly worse, gives you an extra slot, and gives you Rice Ball, who's a really good meat shield. Rice Ball is Rice Ball drains your money. What Rice Ball drains your money, and Vigler is honestly meh outside of his niche. Uh, Meanwhile, Lazvos actually, has nuker capability. If he outranges something, he can kill it. But it's also an L compared to an M. So if you're using rock, then using the three combo L is much better than the 2 combo L M, because rock actually like needs an L in order to be, at normal meat shield recharge. So no longer mad with his ultra form. We're not talking about ultra forms because they take way too much investment. But I do really like his ultra form. I don't think it's busted, but I do like the idea of his ultra form. Kaluga getting a 2-slot research combo was insane. That is a
definitely
really good combo
a
too.
bad set.
I still
In a
think
way, they
Lazvos
are
is
kind
better
of
though.
underrated. Lufalan is a broken unit that invalidates so many stages in the game.
Lufalan
that
is
it's
underrated?
funny.
By no means is
Having
he
a unit
underrated.
this good in Lugas already gives it more of a reason to roll than Pixies. Looking at
Okay,
other
one
units,
unit is not what
Assassin
we're
and
talking about here.
Nobaluga are decent support picks.
We gotta
which
talk
you
about
can bring
general
to many
units.
stages due to their high range.
Nobaluga's
They aren't
high
great to hard
range?
carry
Brother, he
stages,
has 500
but their general
range.
support can provide
That ain't even
assistance
that
on a ton
high.
of
He
them
can
in the
easily
game.
die to
Kaluga
certain units.
is a usable,
He would die to
albeit
Niend
not
if it was just
amazing
him.
sniper unit that stands at a far range, and Nobaluga
And
is a
Lazvos true form
surprisingly
doesn't?
strong LD unit with great range and pierce.
NP is more
He is
valuable than
quite
whatever the fuck
underrated in my
Lazvos'
opinion.
true form
Although his
takes.
DPS isn't the highest, it's still useful for dealing with opposing backlines.
Dark Cat,
And the
especially
higher
since
range makes him
in order
much
to
better
get
generally than
Vigler
something
Ultra
like
Form,
Air would
you have
ever
to have
be.
Dark Cat's Eyes.
Shishiland Passaland has decent general stats and
Blaze on
damage
Lucas
output,
make me want to go
but
outside and
does
run it.
suffer from his large
NP?
knockback count, leading to a lot of
I said
stages
NP,
countering.
forgetting that the Ultra Form
He's
is
still a
actually
decent option on a good amount if you play
Dark
them
Cat's Eyes.
correctly.
But like Dark Cat's Eyes
As for
is
the
even more
rest,
valuable than whatever the fuck,
Kubiluga,
I was talking about.
Papaluga, and Furryline are pretty garbage. It's not like Pixies doesn't have 4 completely garbage units as well. Some of these units also have niche use cases as well.
Yeah,
Furryland has
but
a nice
the elemental
startup
pixies aren't
combo.
exactly any more
Necoluga
niche
and
than their
Kubiluga can be
anti-aliens,
used
so
for extra knockbacks in certain stages that also hit backliners. And Papaluga, as terrible as he is, can at least be used as backline DPS on surge stages.
Floating
if you
Luga is
happen to not
underrated.
have any
Nobalan?
surge immune units.
His 500
Yeah, he's
range
still terrible,
is
but
the
if you
reason
ask
why I
me
don't
whether
really
I
like
would get
using
more
him,
use
because
out
he
of
gets
him or a
outranged by
unit like
Niendums.
Bazana, I'd personally take Papaluga. Now it is important to
I
know
would
that
not
these
take
Luga
Papaluga
units
over
are pretty
Blazana
difficult to
because
use
zombies
correctly,
can actually be a
as
pain
they
in the
are
ass
extremely
sometimes.
fragile and
Maxing
inexperienced
Togaluga.
players can get them killed
Dude,
quite easily.
Togaluga
They
is really
come
good, and he's
active with
not even
tons
here
of
in
weaknesses,
this
but if you
in
do
this
know how to use them
showing. Why
correctly,
is he not
they
showing
can actually
Shishalan?
have decent impact on stages in
You
the
cheesed a
game.
couple stages with
With a
his
certain
LD. Yeah,
level
you
of
can cheese,
potential
but you
that
can do the
bottom
same with
tier
Cyberpunk,
pixies simply don't
which is a
have.
non-Uber variant.
Basically,
Or
Nekulugas
not
still
non-Uber
suck,
variant
but the
replacement.
pixies suck even more to the point where not even the most experienced players can find good uses out of them.
Well,
So yeah,
he's gonna be
that's
regretting
basically
that
my
when
reasoning on
he
why the
finds out that
elemental
Xenobeast
pixies are the
exists.
first normal set in the
Tends to
battle
think that some
cast.
useless Lugas
While
will
this
be on the
might be a
Labyrinth.
hot take,
Hmm.
it might also not be because
Cyberpunk
I've
does like
seen a
1k
fair amount of
damage to
people
his
who also
30k.
have
Yeah, but his 30k is
misconceptions.
very
Let me
occasional,
know in
and
the
that's
comments
still
if you agree that
cheese.
pixies are the worst normal.
That's still cheese. Like, I don't consider cheese strats part of something you should consider. Does Togaluga not have true form? No, Togaluga has true form before true form. What did I just say? He has wave immune before true form. I guarantee you. You want to see? That's not what I wanted to do.
Here we are again. Just
No.
you.
I'm clicking random ass things. Jesus Christ. Battle Cats, Toga, Luga. Toga Luga Talons suck ass. Yeah, he's immune to waves before true form. There you go. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that trivia. Let's look at that trivia. Uh, wow. Interesting. I had no idea. That's cool. Sand. You're a boomer. Oh no, trust me. I probably played the game before he had wave immunity and evolved form, but I just didn't have him. His true form just gave him massively needed HP boost. Yeah, definitely. Because of that 99% health strengthen as well. But yeah, so that's that video. You guys said there was a follow-up, right? Where do I find the follow-up at?
Aku and Behemoth.
Shut up. Why do you think Inferno Akira true form screen looks so shit? That's fair. Live. Uh Bro said shut up. Listen, I don't hate this guy. I need to preface that. I don't hate this guy. True forms gain strong against alien, but only because they gave him wave immune in second form for banner. Oh, really? That one, yeah. Well, I know this one, but like, what times should I look through?
What is the value of an Uber? This is a very important question.
Wait, does he just double down? If this is just him double downing, then I'm not watching this. Well, who we can guess the Behemoth update giving every EOC for a Gurkha? What? Value of an Uber to me is whether the Uber does its job. If yes, then it's good. Yeah. If an Uber has a job and it does it, then it has value. If he doubles down, someone's getting pipe bombed. Let me listen to the end of it.
And that's good.
Wait, let me just look at. Oh wait, no, he did this fucking slide. Hold up. To boost progression. To boost progression, no. It's to clear stages. Heavily based on this, and be able to clear certain stages you would otherwise not be able to. But then he compares them to other Ubers. How does that make sense? He definitely doubles down. Behemoth update is only cool until you realize that there's some overpowered ass enemies from that came from it. Designed to aid the player against starred aliens. Designed to make COTC very easy. All have resist, warp immune, barrier breaker. Because they're specialists, they have weaker generalist stats. The same thing could be said about legend rares or literally any specialist. This guy just hates specialists apparently. Nuker against alien with usual pixie abilities. Yes, very well. Is he a good generalist? I mean, I don't think you should just straight up say no. I feel like I feel like just straight up saying no is I mean, I think he could do well generally with his 390 range and actually decent DPS. If you're good against every trait, including metal and don't crit, consider one of the best units like Chronos, your niche needs to be changed. I mean, I still like generalists existing. I just don't get why he only considers generalists whenever making this kind of thing. You think perhaps why he doesn't like the banners because they're all a bit fixed on the anti-alien traits? Like, I mean, yeah, but like at that point, wouldn't he also hate like uh the fucking Iron Legion because they actually are like a lot like the elemental pixies in the fact that they focus on one trait more than any others. Works equivalently for the most part with Catman, Saki, Afro, Makako, at specifically nuking aliens as a backliner. Well, first of all, don't think of Bor as a backliner. He can tank, and Saki and Afro have a blind spot, and Bor has like half the recharge time from that of Catman and Makako. So you can protect him properly so it acts as a safety net. Bora is not a safety net. He is a carry. Uh, do other alien nukers struggle with survivability? Afro's only survivability plus is her range. Makako doesn't resist. She just has general good HP. Saki has a lot of knockbacks, and Catman has slightly better range than uh, Bora, but with more knockbacks. So, like, I mean, I guess, but like, none of them can tank as well as Bora. Yeah, roll pixies if you need an anti-alien. Call someone in the Iron Legion who can attack all traits. That's okay. First of all, that's one of them, and second of all, I mean, he's kind of squishy. Mikako does resist, doesn't she? I don't think she does. I think she just has massive damage and slow, doesn't she? Oh, does she? Oh, my bad. But she still has double the fucking recharge time, so. Mikako is resistant first form. I'm talking about true form because that's the main form people are talking about whenever talking about Mikako against aliens. You want to know if Dark Heroes is on in Pixies? Who the fuck is rolling Dark Heroes unless you just want to use your cat food? True. First form does, others don't. Okay. So I am right. I'm right a lot, apparently. Where meat shielding is limited? Not really. I mean, just use Rover. I- they spent a lot of time talking about Bora, clearly. They really had to justify putting Bora in the B tier, didn't they? Cooldown, phase reduction. Does this matter? Matters in COTC? Matters in every fucking alien stage. What is this dude on about? Doesn't matter later on. It matters only if the player fails to protect their Uber. Well, that's false because stacking Ubers exists. Because one singular Bora already beats all the aliens in the hardest alien stages. Fair. Hence why he's better than B tier, because he carries through aliens. Comparing true forms is worse than comparing best forms. Well, best form of Makako is true form. Best form of Bora is true form, aside from ultra form. Best form of Makako is easily true form. Am I wrong about that? Massive damage and slow from that kind of range? You know he doesn't like that? This guy? I know Can doesn't like it. I'm just doing this for the stream. I'm probably not gonna actually make this a video because I do not want to bring more hate to this guy. I mean, you feel like making documentary style stuff now? Hmm. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing. Prove all these kids wrong? I mean, I have an opinion just like this guy. Air sucks. Not many that many. Okay, you know what? I think I've spent too much time on this. It's already past noon. Resistant range, lethal strike, and 4K DPS at level 30 in first form is pretty good too. Yeah, but with 445 range, why do you need to tank? Like, you don't need a tank at that range. Sorry this took so long. No, it's fine. I'm the one who kept pausing through the video. It's my bad. So yeah, that's going to be the stream. Bye, Scoop. Bye, everybody. Sorry for my opinions. If you did enjoy, please do come back for more. We need a title? I'll think of the title, don't worry. You could say the same for 390. Yeah, but 390 is less range and also he also still has massive damage whilst also having resist, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, that's the end. That's the end. If did I already say my outro? Whatever.